Today, Epic's last Fortnite of Fortnite tournaments has not gone well. This is CheckPoint. Welcome to CheckPoint, broadcasting this week live from the San Diego Comic-Con show floor.
Unfortunately, the convention ended yesterday, so there isn't much to see.
We'll probably just do our standard mix of games industry news and commentary.
Also, I'm here.
Yeah. Our insurance doesn't allow Kathleen and I to fly together for fear of losing us in a plane crash. Other people are considered more expendable. It was discovered late last week that Bungie had snuck a secret quest mission into Destiny 2, reminiscent of a much-loved secret quest in Destiny 1 to acquire the exotic sniper rifle Black Spindle, the Destiny 2 version awarding players with a new exotic sniper rifle, Whisper of the Worm, which, I mean, it's basically the same gun, in that it shares the exotic perk White Nail that lets players aerate a boss's weak point with speed and prejudice. To access this quest, you have to wait around on IO for anywhere from a few minutes to the heat death of the universe for the Taken Blight public event to appear. Then, the fireteam leader has to touch a portal, which takes you to the mission. The mission is timed to 20 minutes. The first half is a series of jumping puzzles, and thankfully Destiny is known for its precision jumping and predictable physics, and the second half is a thundering clusterbone of Taken enemies that all have to be cleared before you can finally down 3 Taken bosses that hate you personally. That does reward you with the Whisper of the Worm, but if you want the exotic catalyst for greater range and precision, you have to do all of that again on hard mode to get the catalyst, and then again, like 5 times or something, to charge the catalyst. Oh, and since it is now Monday afternoon, you can't do any of that because they took it away. It'll be back next week, apparently.
A content creator hired by the makers of mobile game Marvel Strikeforce has had his account migrated from the main game to a test server amid accusations of cheating from the rest of the player base. Except, it's not that simple. Nightly Gaming, the influencer in question, was provided in-game assets by Foxnest, the developer, in order to create video guides for Marvel Strikeforce. And then he just kept playing the game, asserting dominance over the leaderboard that everyone else plays on too. Naturally, the community complained, and in the first of his apology videos, he states that he should not have used so many Foxnest resources, quote, so as not to raise eyebrows. Look, we've done several streams that were sponsored by the games manufacturers or by other adjacent companies. As a matter of course, you're supposed to use the company's resources to show the game at an advanced level, because that makes the game look interesting, which pulls more people into the game. And then you stop using that company buffed account, because otherwise you would have an unfair advantage over the new players you just brought into the game, and that would drive them out. Also, you tell people. But I play a few free-to-play games myself, so I understand how seductive it is. If you gave me a god-level account in Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, I would absolutely dominate Break Tapper. So the question remains, did Nightly Gaming make an honest mistake, or did he get seduced by the prospect of being a whale for free?
Y'all hear about that Fortnite competition? I understand it went well. Nah, I'm just kidding. Battle Royale would-be esport conducts online tournament where everything goes fine wouldn't really be news. So as it turns out, the Fortnite Summer Skirmish was a bit of a disaster, or as Epic put it in their statement, the event, quote, did not go as planned. The Summer Skirmish, a season-spanning event with $8 million in prizes on the lines, kicked off with a $250,000 tournament pitting top-tier players and content creators against one another, and then not against one another. The issues arose early with awful lag making for bad gameplay and an even worse viewing experience, and so Epic switched things up, and instead of these top players and content creators playing one another, as one might do in a tournament, it became a point system based on how well the players did in just normal queues, with different points awarded for victories and eliminations, and a bonus for 20 eliminations in one game. The winner would be whoever had the most points at the end of the week. The $130,000 winner of the first event, username iDropBodies, was widely accused of cheating because they were playing on a PS4, and viewers assumed they were not only using a mouse and keyboard, which would theoretically give them a control advantage over other PS4 opponents, but also that they were having users jump into their queues and take dives for easy points. This all proved not to be the case, as detailed in a thorough statement from Epic following an investigation. The two notable points are that iDrop Bodies got 129 eliminations across their games for the tournament, and they were all different players, and using a mouse and keyboard on PS4 is totally allowed and not cheating. Also, they weren't. And the whole point is that they're a good player, that's why they were in the tournament to start with. But why was the individual stat tracking solution even necessary? What was causing all the lag issues that plagued the skirmish's first day? In a post-mortem of it, Epic highlighted a few issues that overloaded the servers, namely more players staying connected to spectate until the end, better and more active builders than most public queues, and most importantly, a greater number of players staying alive until the late game because the tournament structure rewarded cautious, non-combative play. That last point being something Epic would know if they'd ever seen any PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds events, which is surprising that they didn't do that considering how many other things were inspired by PUBG.
Since the Nintendo Switch was successfully hacked months ago, there was concern that people were going to do much more than simply change their avatars to anime screenshots, or fill the Super Mario Odyssey balloon quest with porn. And finally, that concern has paid off. Multiplayer hackers have started to surface in Splatoon 2, and a recent stunt has now drawn widespread attention to it. The top 4 spots on the leaderboard were for the users please, add, anti-cheat. On Reddit, a user named please add anti-cheat took credit for the hack and said that their motivations were to, quote, serve to protect players, not to harm them. And if you doubt their sincerity, ask yourself, and ask yourself truthfully, what meme shittery you would get up to if you had the power to hack a leaderboard like that. The only thing more competitive than the multiplayer is the lobby. Anyway, the method to hack Splatoon 2 involves hex editing game files to change play parameters to whatever you like, and the game just lets that fly by. Presumably, this is because Splatoon 2 has no sanity checks built in because, hey, the console you're programming on and have complete control over would never be hacked and invite people to write patches that rebalance Smash Bros. Brawl. Ultimately, the lesson here is this. My ranking in Splatoon 2 has clearly been the fault of hackers all along.
Uh-huh. That's the reason for your Splatoon 2 ranking.
I'm going to level with you. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be a squid now or a kid now.
Beej, you're a grown-ass man.
Being an ass man has no bearing on how bad I am at Splatoon. Coming up, Bethesda says that it is now large enough that it's unlikely that they will need to use outside studios for development. So don't worry. Mistakes like Fallout New Vegas, often considered to be the best game in the series, won't happen again.
Got there.
Nice.